Liyana, Hassanel, and this is Nightline, the top stories. Sultan Ibrahim calls for education revolution following serious crime surge among students. And skylift boom collision identified as cause of ECRL structure collapse. Good morning. Yang di-Pertuan Agong Sultan Ibrahim has cautioned that recent serious criminal offences involving students have cast a shadow on the nation's moral landscape, raising questions on character development in homes and educational institutions. The king urged urgent introspection from schools and universities, calling for an educational revolution centered on humanity, morality, emotional control, and awareness of the law. Speaking at University Technology Mara's 103rd convocation ceremony in Shah Alam, Selangor, Sultan Ibrahim, who was also the university's chancellor, said the recent criminal cases involving students had tarnished the image of the country's educational institutions.
Pendidikan dan pembentukan moral tidak hanya berlaku di kampus maupun di dalam bilik darjah, ia je hendaklah bermula dari rumah dalam setiap kehidupan seharian.
The Tengku Permaisuri Selangor, Tengku Permaisuri Nur Ashikin, who serves as UiTM Pro-Chancellor, also graced the ceremony. Sultan Ibrahim also cautioned that constant exposure to violent digital content could contribute to heightened aggression among teenagers. However, he stressed that it would not be viable to restrict access to digital platforms, as doing so could deprive students from the benefits of digital and remote learning. The king further called on parents and educators to guide students towards responsible use of technology. The time has come for Ethiopian companies, investors and innovators to set up shop in Malaysia. Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim noted that there are vast opportunities for both countries to develop mutually beneficial partnerships. Anwar, who is on an official 3-day work visit to Ethiopia as part of his 3-country tour of Africa, said there is significant potential for collaboration in high-growth sectors, such as digital technology, renewable energy, agro-industry, and Islamic finance. Speaking at the Ethiopia-Malaysia High-Level Business Forum on Wednesday, he added that Malaysia serves as an ideal gateway to the broader ASEAN market.
ASEAN is unique in the sense that it is probably the most peaceful region in the world and the fastest growing economy in the world. Now, so this synergy with the private sector, the business community, cannot be underestimated.
Anwar also said that Malaysia is committed to opening new avenues for trade, investment and shared prosperity, not only with Ethiopia, but also with Africa. Several Malaysian companies have already expressed interest in exploring Ethiopia as a strategic hub for East Africa. Anwar's visit marks the first time a Malaysian Prime Minister is visiting Ethiopia. Earlier on Tuesday, Anwar was given a warm and ceremonious welcome upon his arrival in Addis Ababa. The special flight carrying the Prime Minister and his entourage arrived at Bole International Airport at 4:10 p.m. Ethiopian time. Anwar was met on arrival by his Ethiopian counterpart, Dr. Abiy Ahmed Ali. They then had a brief meeting before Abiy himself drove Anwar to the Ethiopian Science Museum, which showcases the history of the Republic's technological advancement and innovation. The Prime Minister was also taken to Friendship Park, a popular spot for both locals and tourists to enjoy its greenery and scenic landscapes. Malaysia will continue to defend its sovereign rights in the rare earth element, or REE, industry, despite the signing of several international agreements. Acting Natural Resources and Environmental Sustainability Minister Datuk Sri Johari Abdul Ghani emphasized that the government will not allow any form of modern colonialism to take root in the country. According to Johari, foreign investors, including those from the United States, are still subject to strict government procedures, including obtaining approval from the respective state governments.
Siapa nak datang berlampur boleh datang. Tetapi dia kena melalui proses yang kita nak. Contohnya dalam konteks REE. Dia kalau deal dengan kerajaan persekutuan saja tak cukup. Sebab reserve ni semua ada dalam kerajaan negeri.
He added that foreign companies must commit to providing employment opportunities if they wish to extract REEs in Malaysia. Johari, who is also the Plantation and Commodities Minister, noted that the government has agreed that the REE industry's development strategy should be implemented in phases. This approach is necessary due to several major constraints, including a lack of expertise, commercial technology, and comprehensive data related to the resources. He said these efforts are crucial to ensure the nation can fully capitalize on its REE resources, which are estimated to be worth 747 billion ringgit. The collapse of a steel canopy at the side of the East Coast Rail Link, or ECRL project, on the Middle Ring Road 2, which partially crushed a car on Tuesday, has been attributed to a collision between the structure and the boom of a skylift crane. The incident occurred during a paint thickness inspection carried out by the project's subcontractor. The findings of the preliminary investigation by the Department of Occupational Safety and Health, or DOSH, were shared by Deputy Human Resources Minister Datuk Sri Abdul Rahman Mohamad during a site visit on Wednesday. The steel structure is not designed to withstand the impact of such a collision, thus leading to its collapse. DOSH's initial probe also found that the high-risk work was carried out without written permission from the main contractor, China Communications Construction Sdn Bhd.
Sekiranya dapat bersalah, memang kita keluarkan denda lah. Kena denda sebab sementara ini kita berhentikan dulu sebab dalam proses siasatan dan betul ya, kita akan mendenda ya. Dan sekarang ini kita dah keluar notis larangan bekerja lah.
Abdul Rahman said a full investigation is still being conducted by DOSH and the Public Works Department. In the incident, a woman narrowly escaped death when the temporary steel frame collapsed onto her vehicle at the ECRL project site. She was rescued by members of the public before the fire and rescue team arrived at the scene. Authorities have recovered the four-wheel drive that was swept away along with the man inside it during a water surge in the Klang River near the Seloma Link in Kuala Lumpur on the third day of search and rescue operations. The victim, however, is still missing. The vehicle was discovered at 8:30 a.m. on Wednesday, about 1.5 kilometers from the scene of the incident after water levels receded. Dangwangi District Police Chief ACP Sazali Adam said all assets from the Fire and Rescue Department, Civil Defence Force and Police have been fully mobilised, including K9 units and drones.
Kenderaan kita telah angkat dan kita serahkan kepada syarikat pemilik kenderaan.
The vehicle was successfully recovered using a crane from the Kuala Lumpur City Hall. The search for 34-year-old K. Suresh is now concentrated along a 20-kilometer stretch of the Klang River. On Monday, Suresh, along with 12 other construction workers, became trapped under a bridge during the water surge. The other 12 men were successfully rescued, but the victim was swept away by strong river currents. Barisan Nasional will openly accept any decision the Malaysian Indian Congress, or MIC, makes regarding the party's future within the coalition. BN Chairman Datuk Sri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi said the coalition also respects the views of MIC delegates and any position the party ultimately adopts.
Saya menghormati apa juga keputusan yang dibuat oleh para perwakilan dan kepimpinan MIC dan saya tidak berhajat untuk mencampuri hal ehwal dalaman mereka. Apa juga keputusan yang akan dibuat oleh mereka, kita dengan berlapang dada dan hati terbuka menerima.
General Assembly last Sunday, MIC Deputy President M. Saravanan tabled 3 resolutions, including leaving BN and formally applying to join opposition coalition Perikatan Nasional. While delegates voted unanimously on the resolution, they also agreed to leave the matter to be finalized by the party president and its Central Working Committee. On Tuesday, BN Deputy Chairman Datuk Sri Muhammad Hassan said discussions would be held with MIC's top leadership after the Sabah state election to clear up any misunderstandings on the party's position in the coalition. ASEAN must address the immediate fallout from the rise in tariffs by defining the rules of origin more clearly, closing transshipment loopholes, and developing trade diversion safeguards. Bank Negara Malaysia Governor Datuk Sri Abdul Rashid Ghaffur said the aim is to facilitate genuine trade and manage excess capacity from this region and its vicinity.
Over the longer term, the priority is to deepen regional integration and uphold pragmatic multilateralism. This means accelerating the implementation of various trade agreements, such as the upgraded ASEAN Trade in Goods Agreement, ATIGA, the RCEP, the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, and the soon-to-be-completed DEFA.
The central bank chief said this in his keynote address at the 48th Federation of ASEAN Economic Associations annual conference in Kuala Lumpur on Wednesday. Abdul Rashid said the agreements can help ASEAN elevate intra-regional sourcing, reduce the cost of doing business, and strengthen intra-regional trade and investment. Besides, he said ASEAN's ties with China, Japan, and South Korea go beyond culture and values and extend to value chains spanning industries. Beyond Asia, Abdul Rashid highlighted that deepening an agreement with the European Union and Latin America offers a clear path to diversifying partnerships and unlocking new growth areas. Malaysia's trade performance accelerated sharply in October 2025, with exports, imports, and total trade all surging to record levels, driven primarily by robust manufacturing activity and strong global demand for electrical and electronic products. According to the Investment, Trade and Industry Ministry, total trade expanded 13.6% year-on-year to 277.65 billion ringgit. Exports climbed 15.7% year-on-year to 148.32 billion ringgit, the 4th straight month of growth, while imports rose 11.2% to 129.33 billion ringgit. For the first 10 months of 2025, Malaysia registered its highest cumulative trade values and record. Total trade for January to October grew 5.4% year-on-year to 2.51 trillion ringgit. In neighboring Singapore, as it charts its economic blueprint amid global uncertainties, the country is strategizing ways to bring in more high-growth companies, encourage local firms to go overseas, and become a global node for flows of data and low-carbon energy. Senior Minister of State for Finance Jeffrey Xiao said the government's economic strategy review team is focusing on ways to boost economic growth in the years ahead. This includes partnering multinational corporations already in Singapore to realize more innovative and high-value projects. It involves working to bring in more high-growth companies in industries like robotics, artificial intelligence, precision medicine, and advanced manufacturing. Official projections state that Singapore's economy is set to grow by 2 to 3% annually over the next decade. Xiao added that the bottom line objective of economic growth is to create good jobs for Singaporeans. Singapore launched a review of its economic strategy in August amid structural shifts, including geopolitical realignments and technological disruptions. 1 million ringgit worth of drugs hidden in MPV seized. This and more after this breather.
Michelin innovates through cutting-edge tests, from microscopic compounds to extreme simulated road conditions, so you can trust your tires for longer. Michelin, motion for life.
Apa kata kalau kita pergi Ipoh?
Melaka dengan Johor pun best juga.
Spek siapa yang dia tinggal ni? Mana ambil lah.
Kamal, Cik Saiful, kamu berdua ditahan kerana telah melakukan kesalahan rasuah.
Suami diuji ketika dia memiliki segalanya.
Jangan cakap kau ni terani-ani masuk kat sini. Semua orang yang masuk kat sini menerima hakikat tau.
Dan isteri hilang pegangan ketika suami tiada di sisinya.
Aku datang sini nak minta cerai, kau faham tak?
Siapa yang harus dipersalahkan? Kolbu, Sabtu ini 10 malam di Cereka Rama TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Membawa kembali kenangan zaman-zaman dulu lah. Every scene tu sampai pada generasi zaman sekarang lah.
Cerita ni agak menarik untuk tontonan semua orang.
Lirik-lirik lagu di dalam cerita ini cukup bermakna. Nanti suka dengan Alia. Sebab nampak sweet sangat dia.
Scene yang buat I tak move on, I rasa scene diorang waktu main piano. Semua orang dalam panggung wayang menjerit.
Saya bagi 10.
8?
9 per 10 lah.
Welcome back. In Johor, 3 individuals were killed in an accident involving 2 lorries and a car near Kulai on Tuesday. In the 3:15 p.m. crash, 1 victim was pronounced dead at the scene of the accident, while 2 others died in hospital. The collision along Jalan Senai Silong was captured on a closed-circuit television CCTV camera. The footage showed a car driven by a 68-year-old man and carrying 3 women passengers aged 65 to 87, stopping to make a right turn. As the driver waited to make the turn, a lorry crashed into the rear of the vehicle. The impact pushed both vehicles into the opposite lane, where they collided with another oncoming lorry. Kulai District Police Chief ACP Tan Seng Lee said the 23-year-old driver of the second lorry died at the scene, while the first lorry driver and a car passenger died while receiving treatment at the Temenggung Sri Maharaja Tun Ibrahim Hospital. The car driver and 2 remaining passengers were taken to Sultanah Aminah Hospital in Johor Bahru. Firefighters extricated the trapped victims, while others were able to exit the vehicle on their own. The case is being investigated under the Road Transport Act. The Kelantan Customs Department seized various types of drugs worth 1.5 million ringgit in Balakong, Selangor recently. The illegal substances were found hidden inside a multi-purpose vehicle parked in a condominium car park. Kelantan Customs Director Wan Jamal Abdul Salam Wan Long said the seizure, which included yaba, ketamine, shabu, Aramin 5 and ecstasy pills, was conducted during an operation on October 15th, targeting imported vehicles without permits. After 8 hours of surveillance, officers inspected the vehicle and discovered a suitcase filled with different types of drugs. The syndicate is believed to have been using vehicles without permits as transit storage for drugs, leaving them in public parking spaces to evade detection by the authorities. The drugs are believed to be intended for the local market. During the same operation, 2 other uncustomed vehicles and a motorcycle were also seized. In Kelantan, 2 men were charged in the Bachok Magistrates Court on Wednesday with abusing the cock by hitting animal. Muhammad Amirul Afiq Sanusi, 24, and Muhammad Khairul Aziman Shamsuddin, 28, pleaded not guilty when the charges were read out to them separately before Magistrate Amin Rashidi Ramli. Muhammad Amirul is accused of intentionally abusing a male macaque by hitting and frightening it beside an abandoned house in Kampung Jembal on November 1st. He is charged under the Animals Act, which carries a maximum sentence of 1 year's imprisonment, a fine of up to 50,000 ringgit, or both. Muhammad Khairul is charged with abetting Muhammad Amirul in the same offence, at the same location, date and time, under the Penal Code read together with the Animals Act. The court set bail at 5,000 ringgit each with one surety, and fixed December 24th for mention and submission of documents. Zionist regime bombs southern Lebanon again. The details when Nightline returns.
Michelin innovates through cutting-edge tests, from microscopic compounds to extreme simulated road conditions, so you can trust your tires for longer. Michelin, motion for life.
Pertama kali aku tergugah.
Buat teman-teman di Malaysia, Rangga dan Cinta kini hadir di Pawagam. Beli tiketnya sekarang.
Dia kawan saya dan awak tak boleh pertikaikan apa yang saya buat untuk dia.
Apa lagi yang you tak puas hati?
You tak pernah macam ni dulu.
It's good that you know I tak pernah macam ni.
Kita mesti fight habis-habisan.
Aku kena fight.
Tolonglah keluarkan I daripada sini.
You kena sabar.
Betul ke you tak ada orang lain?
Kalau you dah tak trust I, you dah hidup macam ni ke?
Tapi tak apalah, kesian dekat dia. You pergilah pujuk dia.
Bagi I satu peluang.
Muat turun dan layan tonton sekarang. Semua favourite anda di sini.
40 चोरों को जहां से आए हैं वहीं भेज दे।
हम तो ठीक है मर्जीना आपा, लेकिन इस मंजर को देखिए।
यहाँ इतना सारा पानी कैसे आ गया? Alibaba, Dastan I Kabul. Setiap Isnin hingga Kamis 4 petang di slot Sonia TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Cerita dia sangat rasa macam menyentuh lah hati dan perasaan jugalah.
Cerita ni macam kena gila, dekat gila dengan kita orang. As a student juga, kita orang pun macam experience benda sama. Untuk orang yang tengah in love, memang sesuai sangat tengok cerita ni.
Kenalah dengan jiwa kita orang yang very gentle, yang nak nyanyi-nyanyi sambil tengok.
Saya bagi 9/10.
Kalau di Infinity tu saya bagi Infinity.
Saya 100. Jangan lupa tonton Rangga dan Cinta. Dapatkan tiket sekarang.
On to the foreign front. A man was killed and 11 others were wounded on Wednesday morning when an Israeli drone fired 2 missiles at a car in the southern Lebanese town of Atiri. The attack followed another Israeli airstrike in the region the previous day that left at least 13 people dead. The state-run National News Agency reported that several school children were among those injured in Wednesday's attack, as their bus happened to be passing by at the time. It added that the bus was driving directly behind the targeted vehicle when the missile struck, leaving multiple students and the driver wounded. The strike came after at least 13 people were killed in an Israeli air attack on the Ain al-Hilweh Palestinian refugee camp in the city of Sidon. The Zionist military said the strike targeted Hamas members inside the center, alleging it was being used to plan attacks against Israel. The Palestinian group, however, denied the allegations. Israel has continued carrying out strikes in Lebanon, despite a ceasefire reached last November, aimed at ending more than a year of hostilities with Hezbollah. In other news, nearly 350 people were arrested after Myanmar's military raided an internet scam hub on the Thai border in a highly publicized crackdown on booming black market compounds. The army on Wednesday blamed armed opposition groups for allowing scam centers to operate under their protection, but said it acted after regaining control of the territory. State media reported that Myanmar's military raided the gambling and fraud hub of Shwe Koko on Tuesday morning. The operation led to the arrest of 346 foreign nationals under investigation, while nearly 10,000 mobile phones used in online gambling activities were seized. It added that the Yatai firm linked to Chinese-Cambodian alleged racketeer Shi Zhijiang was the entity involved in operating the Shwe Koko area. At least one person was killed when a fire tore through more than 170 buildings in a southern Japanese coastal city on Wednesday. Military and firefighting helicopters were deployed to tackle the country's largest urban blaze in nearly half a century. Houses were reduced to rubble, with thick plumes of smoke rising from the hilly Saganoseki district of Oita City. The blaze reportedly started on Tuesday evening and has burned 48,900 square meters, forcing 175 residents in the district to evacuate to emergency shelters. The flames, likely fanned by strong winds, also spread to nearby forested slopes and an uninhabited island more than 1 kilometer of the coast. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. Indonesia's Semeru volcano erupted on Wednesday, prompting the country's volcanology agency to raise the alert level of Java Island's tallest mountain to the highest. The agency said the volcano spewed ash clouds as tall as 5.6 kilometers into the sky, adding residents should keep a 2.5 kilometer distance away due to risks. Earlier, thousands were evacuated following the initial eruption at 4:10 a.m. local time. Semeru, more than 3,600 meters high, is one of Indonesia's nearly 130 active volcanoes. On to sports now. Youth and Sports Minister Hannah Yeoh said on Wednesday that any criminal elements arising from the football document forgery scandal are under the purview of the Home Ministry, following FIFA's order for several countries to be notified over alleged wrongdoing involving heritage players. Hannah said she has already reached out to Home Minister Datuk Sri Saifuddin Nasution Ismail and is now awaiting updates.
Untuk aspek jenayah yang itu adalah di bawah bidang kuasa Kementerian Dalam Negeri, jadi kita akan serahkan kepada KDN dan saya telah menghubungi Menteri Dalam Negeri tetapi saya belum dapat lagi maklum balas sebab saya baru menghubungi beliau. Saya rasa bagi beliau masa untuk meneliti juga dan kemudiannya saya pasti KDN akan menjawab.
Her remarks come following a decision by FIFA's Appeal Committee, which on November 3rd upheld sanctions against the Football Association of Malaysia and ordered a formal probe into its internal processes. The case centers on forged documents submitted for 7 heritage players. Turning to badminton, the 2025 Australian Open. Malaysia suffered a major setback on day 2 after mixed doubles pair Hu Pangron and Cheng Su-ying crashed out, despite world champions Chen Tangji and To Iwei leading the national charge into the second round on Wednesday. The 7th seeds Pangron and Su-ying were stunned 21-14, 16-21, 18-21 by world number 152 Andika Ramadiansyah and Nozomi Shimizu of Australia, one of the most embarrassing defeats of their career. With this latest stumble, they have now fallen in the first round 7 times on the World Tour this year. Meanwhile, top seeds Tang Ji and Iwei made a winning return from injury, easing past compatriots Wang Tianqi and Lim Chiu-sen 21-19, 21-9. The world champions, who are preparing for the World Tour finals in Hangzhou, will face Taiwan's Liu Guangheng and Zheng Yuqie next. In women's singles, Wang Lingqing continued her fine form from the Japan Masters, dismissing Australia's Amy Wang 21-10, 21-11. She meets world number 17 Michelle Lee of Canada in the last 16. Also reaching the round of 16 were men's doubles, Arif Junaidi and Yap Roy King, along with men's singles shuttler Aidil Sholeh Sadikin. And that concludes Nightline this time around. Before we leave, here's a look at a stunning display at the Dubai Air Show, where around 1,000 drones lit up the sky, creating one of the event's biggest highlights at Al Maktoum International Airport. With that, I'm Liyana Hassanel. Thank you for watching, and be well, Malaysia.